And welcome to the Cryptonaut Podcast. My name is Mark Storrs, and I'm joined by Mr. Robert Thomas Morphy II.
I am glad to be here.
What's going on, buddy?
I think we're both the guest star this time.
We are, yes, guest stars, Mark and Rob.
Yep.
Here we are.
And our nominal host, our figurehead, our glory, Chris isn't here.
We are still in Thunderdome. We are still in Thunderdome protocols. But again, I just talked to him today. He sounds much better, and he's getting some sleep, which is super important.
Thank God.
So that's all dope. Chris will be back. Don't worry about it. But next week, actually, speaking of Chris being back, you are going to be getting a little bit of Chris next week. But it's going to be from a special Patreon release because we're taking ourselves a little vacation.
Yes, indeed.
Where are you going to go for your vacation, Rob?
Oh, nowhere. I am going to go to a couch, and I'm going to surround myself with books, and I am just going to read it away.
Nice. I'm going to tend to my water because guess what? It's pool season, boys.
Oh, it is pool season.
Yeah, get your Speedos out. Guess what? Crypto swimming's here.
Oh, shit.
Party at Mark's house.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't
it's
wait.
Very select few people that will be invited, but
I appreciate that. yeah, definitely.
It's not going to be too nuts, but yeah, no. Next week we're going to be taking a vacation, but we are going to be releasing a special Patreon episode for all of you out there on the regular feed. That way you can get a taste of Patreon. You can check it out. You can see maybe what you're missing over there. Maybe sign up for a tier. Maybe the $1. Maybe the $5. Rob, I've got something to say. I signed up for Patreon today.
Wow.
That might be a new T-shirt. That might just be a new T-shirt. Which is like just the cheesiest car salesman pitch ever.
God.
But that's what we're here to do. Speaking of Patreon, we got some shout-outs to do. Good sir.
Yeah, you instantly had me going into Misfits.
I actually, on the way over, I'm not going to lie, in my head, I was listening to the Misfits, and I'm like, I got something to say. I signed up for Patreon today. And I'm like, yeah, it doesn't matter much to me as long as I get bonus audio. One or four.
Yeah, it's really hard to take it to that next level.
It's really bad. It's an awful idea. And
Sure.
I know Chris is listening to this right now, cringing and probably dying.
100%.
So, there you go.
100%.
That's my cringy pitch for Patreon. But let's do some shout-outs, dude.
Jason Dones.
Thank you so much, Jason.
Jamila.
Jamila, what up?
Jason Hackman.
Oh, shit, Mr. Hackman.
the one to Jason attack.
Oh, my God, I know.
Damien Howe.
Hell yeah, Damien.
Hakon Ulfson.
Oh, fucking sweet.
Hope I said it right. You know the deal.
Dope name.
Vane Magpie.
Yeah, it's a weird bird, right?
Well, a magpie is...
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Dark plumaged bird. Vane, I guess, is just one of the deadly sins.
All right, perfect.
Gooseman. Oh, he survived.
Oh, dude, Goose made it.
Oh, it's so hard now with Maverick coming out. The sequel no one wanted 25 years after nobody wanted it. And now we have to remember Anthony Edwards' finest hour.
I forgot about that movie until they're like, there's a new ship in the air. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I'm sorry. I'm excited for Obi-Wan and Stranger Things, and that's about it.
Hell yeah. Medicky Ches.
Hell yeah. Thank you so much.
He who dwells in the northern woods.
Dude, when I got this, there's a couple that we got recently that I'm like, ooh.
That's ominous.
What's this? And I can see their email, so I'm like, I got you, buddy.
Yeah,
I got you.
No, I mean, you're not behind the rose. You're in the northern woods.
Yeah.
But you're still ominous.
Nice.
Alexander Apotheosis.
Hell yeah, thank you.
Jorge.
Fuck yeah, Jorge.
J.D. Mars.
Hell yeah, JD. Thank y'all so very much. And again, patreon.com/Cryptonaut Podcast.
Fuck yeah.
Fucking, and next week you could be getting a little taste. You could be getting a little morsel of that Patreon goodness that we do over there. And yeah, it's been super fun. Thank you to everyone that supports us. It means the world to us. Holy shit. It's so cool that we can actually do this and like have it like as a little part-time job because, if I'm not doing this, I'm going to go work at Lowe's in the PVC section. So, just strictly PVC.
I don't want that for you. Plus, I love doing this. Plus, I love hanging out with you and Chris. Plus, I love all of our listeners, and I love the interactions, even though I'm dubious online, and I know it. But this is really just about the greatest thing outside of friends and family in my existence, and I would not want this to change.
And we're doing it, and the listeners supporting us, and we love them. We can't thank them all enough. But we are talking about, Robert, this week, the Ultra-Cryptids strike back.
Oh, yeah.
More weird ones.
Going back to a safe place, a happy place, a good place.
The field of cryptozoology is infested with patently peculiar creatures, but there are some anomalous animals that take this already strange standard to an entirely new level of weird. The Ultra-Cryptids. Today, we're going to add a few new names to that ever-evolving list of this motley menagerie.
Yes, we are.
Oh, we're going back.
Oh, we are.
Awesome.
I love it.
I can't wait.
There's piles of creatures, one-off, weird ones that fucking we love. And obviously a lot of the things we've done on solo jaunts or Mystery Bag Mondays, like the telepathic rugby ball and other things of cool. That ilk, could make this list. And if we're ever pressed into it, I would probably assemble something. But we're going to say what sets it apart, but these things are like the weird of the weird. They're like just a step above. So I'm also going to do a little recap because this is technically our second foray into the world of Ultra-Cryptids. So here we go. In our first edition of our Ultra-Cryptid series, we dealt with such curious critters as the Halloween-themed globe pumpkinhead out in Arizona.
Yep.
The red-eyed telekinetic haystack known as the Wazooey Man.
Fan favorite.
Oh, gotta love it. The 12-foot-tall, pouch-bellied robo-bug we've dubbed the Rose whatchamacallit.
I forgot about that thing, digging dirt.
Yeah, digging dirt, putting it in all its many holes. The floating, faceless, testicle-headed Frankensteinian fiend we call the Pawasi Phantom. And finally, an array of massive, maggot-like creatures that crawled across a desolate French roadway looking, God help us, like a pile of greasy, throbbing globs of undulating flesh, which have come to repulse monster aficionados worldwide as the Yasandan things.
Those fucking things.
Those fucking, like a sack of squirmy potatoes or like a translucent animal with organs trying to pull itself out of a plastic or a used rubbery condom. I mean, they're just...
all right.
Okay. So, here's what they're...
Sweet.
So, these creatures are unified not only by the fact that they seem to defy conventional classification, even in the broad spectrum of cryptozoological lore, but also because some of them seem to have uncanny defensive and offensive abilities that seem to defy the known parameters of what traditional fauna are capable. Powers.
Super mutants. There you go. Perfect.
Hypercryptids.
Dude, hypercryptids. It's a thing.
Our first new inductee to this prestigious assemblage hails from the Township of Scugog, named after the artificially flooded lake of the same name, located in the regional municipality of Durham in central Ontario. And like almost all of the aforementioned members of the Ultra-Cryptid Society, the encounter occurred during the gloriously monster-rich era of the 1970s.
Nice.
Although the eyewitness chose to remain anonymous, and the precise day and time of this brief yet tantalizing encounter were not given, what we do know, thanks to Albert Rosales' Humanoid journals via the Para-Ontario Researchers Group, is that on an evening in 1976, a man was riding his bike just south of the village in order to give his big black lab a chance to stretch his legs when the pair ran into an entity that neither would soon forget. Just riding with the dog.
Just doing it, man.
Just a nice night.
Night out with the Poppins.
76.
There it is.
Disco or bike the dog.
It's a fucking great year, dude.
According to the Observer's report, he and his dog were enjoying their quiet nighttime jaunt when, without warning, his black lab bolted ahead. The agitated canine paused at the opening of a driveway that led to a cottage, snarling and barking at something the man couldn't see. He pedaled quickly to catch up with his pet, and that's when the witness saw the creature that had gotten his dog so riled up. At first, all the man could make out was a large lump of white, which he assumed was little more than a hefty domestic cat. But as he got closer, he realized this thing was something else entirely. It seemed to be nothing more than a pale, amorphous shape with no noticeable features or any indication of fur.
Fucking Domston blobs, dude.
Yeah.
They're in Ontario.
Or Kinderhook.
Oh, that's right. The grocery bag with the seagull. Okay.
The bedsheet with the seagull.
Oh, sorry, the bedsheet with the seagull.
Concerned for the welfare of both his pet and this unidentified animal, the man dismounted his bike and began shouting, trying to restrain his dog in order to prevent it from attacking the creature. Perhaps startled by the sound of the man's voice, the immobile animal suddenly started to scurry toward a grove of cedar trees. In the commotion, the man lost his grip on the lab, and just as it was about to pounce on the white thing, it suddenly turned around and reared up to a height of almost 3 feet. The creature lifted its then immense, though sadly undescribed head, and to the eyewitness's shock, it extended a pair of quote-unquote long willowy arms in what seemed to be a classic prey defense effort to make itself look bigger to a predator.
It's got little tiny hidden arms.
So it's got tiny, and I'm thinking like just bone thin, super long and awkward, not entirely unlike the Crosswick monster.
Oh, there you go.
So I'm just seeing this flap of white flesh, this big giant head, like unnaturally big, like almost as wide as the shoulders. It doesn't say it. This is just my mind. And these long arms just kind of unfurl.
All right, cool.
The man was stunned by the sight before him, but it was what happened next that would send a wave of terror through his heart and send his formerly courageous canine companion scuttling for cover. The anomalous animal seemed to take in a massive breath, then emitted what the witness described as a, quote, very loud subsonic grunt or blast.
Dude, it's got a sonic weapon?
It's got a sonic weapon.
Oh, dude.
The deep, resonant bellow shook his bones. The man claimed that he, quote, felt surrounded by the sound, end quote, as if he felt it as much as he heard it. In an instant, the growling dog froze in its tracks. Its former moxie completely evaporated. The lab ran behind its master, whimpering with its tail between its legs. Not even a little bit curious to see what would happen next, the man scooped up his bike and began running down the street in a blind panic, his best friend beside him.
Oh, man.
He was so terrified it didn't even occur to him to hop on the bike.
Just carrying it?
Just well, he's rolling it, I'm assuming, but still, yeah. Like, you could go a little faster on it, but fuck that. I mean, you got to get out of Dodge.
Just fucking ride your bike, dog.
Oh, dude.
You have the escape route right there.
Right there. The man never saw the creature again. And as far as we know, no one else has ever reported a run-in with the, drumroll please, Skoogog Screecher. Love naming these things.
Sounds like a punk rock band. What's up, Syracuse? We are the Skoogog Screechers. Yeah.
I love that idea, though, of like we were saying. I mean, we've all heard bass go by. We've all felt the bass more than our ears are able to register it. And obviously, human ears can only go so far. I can only imagine what it was like for the dog. It's no wonder it literally like shit its dog knickers and crawled away.
Yeah, dude, that's got to be, if it's that much the dude, the dog must have been in super pain. Like, that's crazy. But
the thing that I'm most fascinated by, it's not just this very loud subsonic grunt, which is like, or whatever.
Right.
He also said it was that or blast. So is the breath impactful? Is the vibration from the grunt so powerful that, I mean, he says he feels it, and through him, and it surrounded him, but did it actually move them back, or were they just, of course, so terrified that they took an involuntary step backwards? It's hard telling, but describing something like that, like when you just get hit with a wall of bass.
Yeah, I'm assuming when that happens, you're instinctually whoa, like you're just going, oh shit,
And also we know that those deep sounds can be used as a weapon, can be used to disorient, to send just a surge of terror that you can't quite place, even if you're not otherwise scared. And what a great defense mechanism this would be. If you can create a sound, if you've got like a howler monkey can do what it does, and other creatures have sounds that frighten away things or alarm its comrades that danger is coming. If this creature has this thing that maybe serves both those purposes, but elicits a sense of unmitigated horror in whatever's trying to pursue it, that is like the ultimate prey defense.
And it's not very big. It's only 3 foot.
Maybe just under 3 foot.
Yeah, so it just comes up, and that's a great way to like get something away from you, is to have an awful noise.
An awful noise.
You're just like, that
hurts the dog's ears probably, maybe even the humans, but gives you this sense of dread that you just take off illogically, not even getting on your goddamn bike.
Yeah, well, there you go, dude. The Skoogog Screecher coming at you.
Weird, and it's got a power.
I like it.
I do too. Our next case comes to us from our researcher extraordinaire, Cole Herrold.
Oh, what's up, Cole?
Shout out to Cole, who fucking not only does all his own great work, which I love, but anytime we just send a little idea his way, it's just, we are greeted with an amount of research That is shameful.
Dude, we sent him down a reptilian hole.
Oh, God.
We owe
it was
him
an accident.
a year of his life.
Oh, yeah. No, I know. Yeah. He's going to get hugs, a bottle of something.
Yep.
We're going to comfort him.
A couple pins, maybe some stickers.
In his old age, we'll take care of him.
He's younger than us. He's going to be taking care of us.
Well, it'll work both ways.
All right, perfect.
But anyway. And deals with an odd entity that appeared in more recent times in Derry Township near one of Pennsylvania's most infamous paranormal hotspots, Chestnut Ridge.
Dun, dun, dun.
Good old Chestnut Ridge.
Oh, man.
According to Herrold, Chestnut Ridge is a place that is littered with UFOs, ghosts, cryptids, bizarre sounds, and anomalous phenomena that seem to be honed to this bizarre stretch of land. Just what is the reason for this concentrated area of high strangeness is anyone's guess, but it is an area where just when you think you've seen the weirdest thing imaginable, something else will come a short time later to top it.
Nice.
End quote. According to a report that was given to longtime Pennsylvania paranatural researcher Stan Gordon, who covered the Chestnut Ridge incident and all sorts of Kecksburg, like he's a legend down there. In the wee hours of the rainy night of September 10th, 2018, an unnamed man was driving down an isolated strip of road in Derry Township when he encountered the unthinkable. The driver claimed that he had slowed his vehicle and flicked on his high beams in an effort to make out the road ahead when he suddenly spied something shambling in the middle of the road about 75 feet away, moving from left to right. The startled driver, who due to the slick conditions had been gazing forward intently, could not understand how this undulating mass could simply appear as if from nowhere. The man tapped his brakes, trying to figure out what it was he was looking at. At first he thought it might just be an inexplicably dense patch of low-laying white fog, but there were no other traces of fog anywhere else, and the closer he got to the unnerving entity, the more it seemed to take on a slouched yet distinctly humanoid shape that stood nearly 7 feet in height. So it's just this like hunk of wispy, and I think we've all seen like slightly isolated hunks of fog or vapor, and you're like, is that like a big burst of exhaust, or this is weird? But there's usually like fog in the fields on either side of the road or wherever you happen to be. It's not usually just this one little boom. I know there's that famous footage of like that floating foam cloud or whatever.
I was just thinking about that, yeah. Or, my favorite swamp gas.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, you and Hynek.
Yeah. Me and my boy Jay Allen talk about swamp gas.
So it's rare. It's weird.
Yeah, for sure.
And then make it humanoid and nearly 7 feet tall. It's even weirder.
Wispy tall dude.
The perplexed driver had a hard time reconciling what he was seeing. Despite the fact that the thing had assumed a decidedly human form, complete with, quote, massive muscular shoulders and an incredibly small waist.
This thing is shredded?
Shredded.
Dude.
Ripped at the top,
and
narrow at the middle. So it's Vampira at the waist, it's fucking Schwarzenegger at the delts.
That's weird. Excellent Vampire reference, though.
The bulk of the being was made out of wispy tendrils of white mist. And though it seemed as if it were walking, moving its arms and legs in tandem, the thing had no feet and floated above the pavement. The witness noted that the vaporous varmint had a head, but unlike its well-defined torso, it was little more than a smoky patch of fog. Within a matter of seconds, what Cole named he named this one, I like this, the Derry Township fog humanoid.
That's awesome.
Traversed the asphalt and drifted into a nearby field where it simply faded from sight, never to be seen again. While, as mentioned above, this region of Pennsylvania is littered with paranormal delights, and there have certainly been other reported fog beings, not the least of which is the sloppy-tongued cloud puppy of Scotland's Shetland archipelago, if you remember the lickening.
Oh, yeah.
That we did in
that's right.
Sky Beasts Ahoy, or one of those ones. The Derry fog humanoid seems to be a fairly unique character that defies classic zoological or even meteorological explanation.
It's a fog patch. That looks like a dude that's shredded. It definitely does not fit into either of those categories.
It does not. It definitely does not.
Wayne Mahar will not talk about this thing.
Oh, no.
It's a local reference.
He will not address it.
No.
He's too good for that.
Pretty definitely.
Yeah. Is it truly a cloud-like cryptid? Or could it be an alien or a being of interdimensional origin? Cole suggested everything from a spectral apparition to a demonic entity or even a djinn.
Oh.
Perhaps it could have been an elemental entity, the so-called spirits that represent different forces of nature. Cole went on to speculate, quote, in folklore and myth, there is an entity known as sylphs or sylphids, which are described as invisible entities that live in the air. The sylphs, brethren of elementals, are salamanders for fire, gnomes for the earth, and the undines for water. I have to admit, I don't know anything about the firemanders.
Why do I feel that like Chris would know about this?
I'm sure he would, because he's our D&D guy.
He'd be like, oh yeah, you fucking assholes, this is what they are.
It's the 4-part, the fire, earth, wind, fire.
Okay, yeah.
Air. And of course, gnomes are dirt. I would think dwarves, but whatever.
Why do you got salamanders and fire?
I don't. Well, maybe because some of them have like that fiery red pigmentation, but this is just me pissing in the wind.
If a salamander's near fire, it's going to cook.
It's going to totally shrivel into nothing.
It's going to get cooked.
So it's clearly a paranormal salamander. I don't even know what a fucking undine is.
No, me neither. All right, man. Hey. Whatever. Well, hey, you know what? This is a journey. We're going to take it together and learn.
We are. Absolutely.
Go. Hold my hand. Here we go.
Okay. Cole continues. These beings have a variety of abilities depending on their element and often have shape-changing abilities or the power to disappear. Perhaps the entity seen in Derry Township was one of these beings and for a brief second was able to be seen either accidentally or because of the weather condition, and that it could also explain if this being was a sylph, especially why it suddenly disappeared, as these entities tend to almost always be invisible, end quote. So interesting speculation. Cool.
I mean, considering it's an invisible entity, what do you do?
Yeah.
Like you're like, but maybe like I think what he's saying here though is like, like the weather condition changes just right, and all of a sudden like you can kind of get like a glimpse of him like in the mist.
Sure.
The super muscular, foggy headed dude with a tiny little waist.
It is
shredded beyond shred.
Well, maybe not. It just has a narrow waist and big shoulders. So it's basically a triangle-shaped dude.
Yeah.
Where the arms dissipate to fog, the legs go down and dissipate to fog. It's moving. I sort of see it moving like an awkward automaton, but who the fuck knows? It might have a nice natural gait, but I don't see it that way. Like robo running. And then it's got like this fucking mist head.
Yeah, totally.
So I mean, okay, it's weird. It's clearly not a piece of fog because the triangular torso means that can't possibly it, but you can't rule out the fact that it is a road, and roads have car accidents, and accidents result in tragic deaths that are sudden, and that is a hallmark of creating ghosts. And we almost never go there.
I didn't know you were going to go there. All right, I like it.
And
I like it.
I mean, but it's something you can't take off the table completely.
No, also weather condition though, dude. You never know. You're
right.
The moon shines a certain way, and there's a glittery glimpse of a.
It's a garbage bag. It caught the wind.
It could be a garbage bag.
And maybe just a puff of fog is around. It's jet black. Yep. It's out in the middle of nowhere. There's no street lights. The headlights are the only light that are coming in. And you see this weird billowy object that I don't know why. I don't know, maybe someone was like hotboxing in their car and parked around the corner and they were using a garbage bag, which would be a terrible idea, kids. So don't do that.
Don't do that.
And it's just floating and emanating smoke. And for one split second in the breeze, it just looks like a weird, tall dude.
And then the person that saw this is just fucking freaking out. Like, dude.
Yeah. Who might be high as fuck himself, for all we know.
Salamanders of fire, gnomes of earth, man.
Gnomes of earth, man.
And the undines of water, dude.
It's a sylph, dude. It's a fucking sylph, man. We're all gonna die.
We're all gonna die, man.
Game over, man. It's a sylph.
Oh, there you go. I was waiting to see if you're gonna do it. Game over, man.
You can't not Bill Paxton.
Yeah. I mean, you have to.
Rest in peace.
All right.
Maybe it was Bill Paxton's ghost.
Dude, going back in time?
Oh, why not?
Oh, shit.
Oh,
I mean, time is just a construct.
Can you haunt while you're still alive?
Time's a construct, and do what the fuck you want.
Man. Maybe in the afterlife it doesn't even fucking matter.
Time technically doesn't matter.
Wow.
Except that I gotta wake up at 4 a.m. But I mean, I don't have to. Like,
no, it's imposed on you.
Yeah, I mean,
you choose to comply. You want to feed your family.
Whatever.
I get it. I respect that.
I don't want to fucking do this time thing anymore, dude. I'm just gonna fucking live my own day. That's it. It's my own goddamn day.
All right. Our final case for inclusion in this batch of the Ultra-Cryptids pantheon is a critter dubbed by Cole in his November 19th, 2021 article, The Electro-Hopper of Lancaster County.
Oh, shit.
That's a very evocative name.
I like it.
The area, which is also said to be inhabited by our favorite massive multi-blade-headed monstrosity, the Chickies Hill Mummy.
Available on Patreon.
There it is.
It's there.
It's available on Patreon and a t-shirt.
There's a
also.
t-shirt. Oh, shit.
Is another paranormally besieged region of Pennsylvania, and in August of 1979, one of its weirdest inhabitants did something that Harrison Ford would almost certainly take umbrage with. It attacked the Amish. Yeah, it's a Witness reference.
Okay.
Savor that one.
Yeah, I had to go back. I'm like, the Bones movie where he killed his wife?
No.
Indiana Jones?
1985.
Han Solo?
Undercover cop.
All right.
Protecting Kelly from Top Gun.
Blade Runner.
He goes full Amish.
Right.
He abandons his English ways, except when he punches the fuck out of some bully that's picking on the Amish. It's pretty badass.
All right, cool.
So he's a defender of the Amish in one movie that was a massive hit for some reason in the mid-'80s.
Straight up, dude, I love the Amish, dude, straight up.
Oh, yeah.
They're great contractors. They're good folks. And if they're listening to this, which they probably are not.
The food, excellent.
Yeah.
Their stores, love them.
Oh, dude, the Amish stores around here kick ass.
They do. All of
They're
the
so
asses.
dope.
Yes.
No, I really like, to digress for a second, when you go to Walmart and then you see like the horse and buggy and you're like, there's some
Hell
Amish
yeah.
folks here. This can be dope. This party's going to be fire.
I really do want to hang out. Well, I mean, I'm old now, but like back in the day, I would have loved to have hung out with some Amish folks going English, where they're just getting to live their life, test the waters.
Be like, dude,
just to be like, yeah,
here's a CD, here's an iPhone.
Let's share some ideas.
Yeah,
let's fucking rock out.
Yeah.
Let's be buddies.
Dude, just fucking Pornhub. Here you go.
Well, all right. We were older in different times. We were teens in different eras. Okay. So Amish rule. And that's established.
Fuck yeah.
On the hot day in question, a quartet of, once again, unnamed Amishmen, and by once again I mean unnamed, the fuck, name yourselves, people.
Dude.
Were working hard in a field when one of them noticed something strange in an adjacent field. The man alerted his fellow field hands, and the foursome watched what they initially assumed to be a naked man moving toward them in an odd, hopping fashion.
That's going to be a thing.
That's a thing. Yeah.
Okay.
The more they stared, however, the more they realized that this was not a frolicking streaker or a trespassing nudist, but something far stranger. In fact, the closer it got, the more it began to dawn on them that what they were witnessing was not human at all.
Oh, no.
One of the men would describe what they saw, stating, quote, "We simply had no idea what this thing could be, but we were suddenly afraid. It had arms and legs and a face with semi-human features. It was covered with coarse, sandy hair and bounding along in this strange hopping fashion. It occurred to me that this thing was hopping like a kangaroo, but of course it wasn't one of those." End quote. As the farmers pondered what sort of bizarre evolutionary offshoot, or from a more theological point of view, what kind of demonic abomination it was that they were dealing with, things took an abrupt and terrifying turn. When the bouncing beast got to within 100 feet of them, the men were suddenly struck by a, quote, stabbing sensation like an electric jolt.
Oh, dude. It's got the fucking the electroshock feature.
Electro hopper, baby.
Oh, boy.
Within seconds, the literally shocked men were startled by the fact that one of their company began screaming out in an indecipherable language that almost certainly seemed to those present as if he were speaking in tongues.
I was not expecting that.
No. No. Well, you don't expect the naked guy. Then you don't expect it to be a not guy with semi-human features and sandy fur that's bouncing around. You certainly don't expect to get an electrical shock when he's within 100
and then
feet.
You're speaking whatever,
But when fucking, Lemuel or fucking whoever next to you just starts jibber-jabbing in tongues, you're like, the fuck is going on?
All of a sudden, Sumerians coming out of your mouth. Like,
exactly.
All right, end of the world. Here we go.
The individual afflicted by this, for lack of a better term, possession, described it thus, quote, "I had an eerie feeling that something was inside of me.
Oh, boy.
I felt strange things happen to my brain and nervous system. I could hear myself crying out, shouting words that made no sense to me. I couldn't understand where these words came from. Then the creature opened its mouth and began shouting at me in the same foreign language.
Oh, man, it can communicate. Fuck.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. This thing just goes from
problematic.
It's going fast enough. It's going about 45 miles per weird. And then suddenly it's 176 and down the straightaway, and there's some turns coming. You're like, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah. The electro hopper. All right. Weird.
These men of the earth were now terrified beyond the point of rational thought. What was their friend saying to this potentially diabolical entity, and what was it in turn saying back to him?
It didn't dawn on me. There's a conversation happening.
Yeah.
Oh, man. This sucks.
Unfortunately, the experiencer seemed to have no conscious awareness of the meaning of their brief yet upsetting conversation. So here's the fucked up part. Is it just parroting? Like, is this guy shouting and this thing shouting back?
Right.
Is it really attempting to communicate, and it needed to access this, for lack of a better term, lower life form's brain,
right?
To help it, like, and is it asking serious questions like, seriously, are you going to grow the wheat here? This is definitely a field better for corn. What the fuck are you doing? And then he needs the answer in a language he can understand, so he taps into this guy's, subconsciousness and lets him reply back, or is something else entirely fucking happening?
Yeah, maybe he's just taking the guy over as like a translator, but
it's not working.
It's
if
not
that's
working
the case
at all. No, he's just acting more like a fucking megaphone.
Or does he need this person to like recite an incantation? If we want to go into the magic realms, is it this demonic thing, or just this normal entity? I mean, I don't know why I struggle with that. I was trying to think of something.
You were going to have something way more. This para.
Well,
normal entity.
I'm trying to think
like
what's there between demon and jinn that is something that is like created by, some people think God, created by the universe, that is more intelligent, older, more experienced than the human race, but not an extraterrestrial from another planet, not merely a cryptid that's unidentified, to the zoological record, but an intelligent being that is indigenous to here as we are.
Some sort of fae, perhaps?
Yeah, fae, exactly. What I was trying to come up with an appropriate word for that, so fuck it, paranormal thing or whatever.
I like it.
Did it need a human vessel to become like this megaphone to recite these words to, maybe help bind it to the earth so it could come here forever and escape the confines of hell, or to curse the land, but he couldn't do it himself, so he needs an avatar.
Dude, to curse the land.
Sometimes
the
hopping nudist needs to curse the land.
Yeah, dude, he's like, your fields will lay fallow for years.
Yes, indeed.
There you go.
Nothing but shit will grow. Turnips and beets.
You will grow rocks.
You will grow garbage.
Nice. All right, man. Well, where do we go from here?
So obviously we don't know what it's doing or why.
No, we have no fucking idea. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so it's all fucked up.
Yeah.
Okay. As soon as it had begun, the electro hopper released its psychic grip on the farmer, but he and his comrades could only stand still and watch in stark terror as it continued to seemingly aimlessly hop around the field before disappearing into a nearby forest, quote, at superhuman speed.
So it just hung out?
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
But what's it doing? Is it looking for something? Is it missing its UFO? Is it just fucking around? Is it lost? Did it just like human beings that allegedly stepped through a vortex, have no idea what happened, and suddenly they're in the Fey world, like in all those great old legends.
The Watertown Vortex.
The Watertown
Area
Vortex.
51, dude.
Sometimes they come back like what feels like for them 2 hours later, but it's 3 days later. Sometimes they never come back at all.
Oh.
Well, and we've discussed this before. Why wouldn't it be the same for creatures that live in these alternate dimensions or levels of reality, where it's separated by the veil or the strings of the string theory or whatever the membranes, as they call P-brains, if you're in physics? Why, whatever it is that separates our reality from all the other adjacent realities that occupy the same basic geography, but not the same time or space. I know I'm kind of rambling here because it's hard to put into words. Why can't they slip into our shit?
I mean,
have horror stories just as traumatic as the people that do that in our world and happen to come back have to tell?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm assuming if it's not probably just a one-way door. It's got to be able to work both ways, where things could slip in.
You'd
and slip
assume.
out. I would assume, yeah, totally.
And we always assume that the things that take us, like the Fae, obviously they seem savvier.
Right.
They seem better versed in magic, or super science, or whatever it is that allows them to go through these doors seemingly willy-nilly. But human beings always seem to either be abducted or fucking just through happenstance stumble through.
Yeah.
And again, they end up partying. They go to a bonfire party. They drink the wine. They pork the elf. They do whatever they do. They feel like they're coming back the next morning after a wild ride, but then their wife is like remarried. Their kids are 4 years older, and you're like, oh, fuck. Time means nothing because we're the idiots. But who's to say there aren't species that aren't idiots necessarily, but are just as ignorant as us? And this thing could be hopping around going, where the fuck am I? What the fuck is... I'm going to shock you guys. I like your beards. I have no idea what your agenda is. That pitchfork looks dangerous. You're shocked. All right, now we're going to talk. I'm going to fucking put the words out. You're going to say it back. You're just repeating what I'm saying. This is not helping, dude. The fuck is going on? Fuck you guys. I'm going to hop around, and then bam, I'm gone.
Fuck you guys, I'm going to hop around. There you go. Yeah.
Because if I had electro powers and I ended up in a different world, and I had also the power to like make something else speak my language, right. I would do those two things.
Totally.
I would gently shock the people that made me nervous. Then I would pick one of them and be like, fucking tell me what's going on. And that person would be like, tell me what's going on. And I'm like, don't keep repeating what I'm saying. It's like, don't keep repeating what I'm saying. Like, you're fucking, oh, fuck, I did it wrong. And I'd hop around angry a few more times, then shoot off into the woods.
Go home.
Trying to find my goddamn portal.
There you go.
But maybe he never found it. No. Maybe he's still hopping the forest of Lancaster to this day.
Oh, be careful out there, folks.
All right, so let me continue. It's difficult to say what this creature was, or to even begin to speculate on its agenda for temporarily possessing the Amish farmer. But Pennsylvania is legendary for its alien encounters, especially for its Bigfoot UFO connection. But seeing as this thing wasn't a Bigfoot and there were no UFOs present, that hardly seems applicable here. The reason I bring it up is that I think I could be wrong about this. I'm no expert on this subject specifically, but I think there's a higher concentration of large, hairy, mammalian creatures, mostly Bigfoot-like, often with green eyes, sometimes holding an orb.
Oh,
you remember that one?
Yeah, my favorite. Dude, these are my favorite big feats, the ones that come from the UFOs.
Yes.
These are my faves.
And it seems like just Pennsylvania is chock fucking full of these things.
That's where they land, dude. They got good vacation rates.
So maybe it's an alien, but it's a kangaroo, sandy-colored, butt-naked hopperoo. Electro hopper, excuse me.
All right, fair enough.
And who the fuck knows? Okay. Here's the conclusion. We'll break it down. In the end, these three cases, along with those already chronicled and the many more to come, must be tallied as something that goes beyond the discovery of a mere unknown animal, raising it to the rarefied realms of high strangeness that many investigators avoid, fearing that their already marginalized pursuits will gain further disrepute. But as significant and fascinating as almost certainly genuine, yet as yet unclassified biological entities like the orang pendek, the yeti, the yeren, or Cadborosaurus are, we must make room for those utterly unique entities that defy easy classification or even basic logic. For as bizarre and as difficult to comprehend as these things may be, there's a chance that they're as real as you or I. And in understanding them, they make the world which we all share a much richer and infinitely more fascinating place to be.
Oh, dude, there you have it. The Ultra-Cryptids strike back. More weird ones.
More weird ones.
The white thing with the sonic weapon, super dope.
That was super dope.
It's super cool because it just shows up. It's like, I got tiny arms. And then it fucking freaks the guy out. That's super cool. The... going back to the wispy one, I mean, we obviously hit that one garbage bag, possible floating garbage bag,
Totally.
That one's definitely interesting, too. What I really like about these, though, is they crest that high strangeness where it's like, you could be misinterpreting this for something.
Oh, yeah.
Like a garbage bag, possibly.
Sure.
Or, again, it's just like, is something coming into our reality? Are we going into their reality? Like, at what point are you kind of slipping the lines of reality here where you're like, I think I use reality way too many times.
No, but I understand what you're saying.
I'm going to throw a card up. I'm going to give myself the penalty
Yellow.
card. Yellow card. Yeah, where it's like that weird off world. Where
because
it's like it's not alien, but it's also not necessarily like from here.
Totally, and that's the thing you have to acknowledge.
Yeah.
Where as Sasquatch or some of the aforementioned traditional cryptids or certain lake monsters, you're like, oh yeah, this could be here. This is something we don't know what it is, but it can function here. It seems to fit all the biological parameters.
Totally.
This is something that's doable. Most people are skeptical because there's no like hard evidence, but there's definitely enough corroborating and anecdotal evidence to suggest that something real could be happening. With things like, say, the Skugog Screecher, sure, you could be like, okay, so it's a weird white hairless thing with super long arms that can stand up bipedally, but maybe it's a mutant. Maybe it's, again, the dreaded, mangy opossum, some fucked up thing.
with a sonic weapon.
But that's when it gets fucking weird.
Yeah, I know the sonic weapon.
That is not an animal that exists anywhere that we know of. Much less, I don't even remember where that one was set. In Ontario. That just isn't something that's there.
Right.
So then it has to be a lie. That's always a thing we have to put right up front.
It always be a lie.
A lie or hoax. Boom. Right. That's there. It's an ugly truth. We have to acknowledge it and then just let it sit there because fuck that. Or it's an alien.
Okay.
And by alien, it could be whatever. Maybe extraterrestrial. Who knows what. Or it's something genuinely paranormally unexplained.
Yeah.
Like that, and I would even say alien, that could be interdimensional or extraterrestrial, just foreign to where it's supposed to be. Because there's nothing that explains it. Of course, there's the fallback that has been used with the chupacabra, with the goatmen, with melon heads, with all sorts of things, and that is science gone awry. That's something we almost never deal with because it's absurd. But on the other hand,
maybe,
I suppose,
I don't know, man.
It's not our job to take shit off the table. It's our job to look at the shit that's on the table.
Yeah. I mean, government.
So that could be a sonic possum that they were planning on deploying in Russia or China.
Yeah, it's a government funded program that weaponizes opossums with sonic weapons, and then they send them to Cuba to destabilize the government.
And they give them super long arms, and that would make sense because Cuba got revenge with their own sonic weapon a few years back, as you recall.
I think that actually may have been debunked.
Oh, really?
I think it may have been.
See, I don't know about that. I just remember seeing it on the news years ago, and I don't follow that shit.
I could also be completely wrong.
It doesn't matter a bit. What would be interesting, though, is if you could create a creature like this, train it, not to like attack, I guess, your own soldiers, but you just have like burrowing, weird white creatures that surround your military base, and anybody who gets too close with like a dynamite strapped to their chest or a gun or anything, they just get screeched at. Yeah. And that makes them
that would be dope.
so terrified because that creates that reaction in the experiencer that they literally just shit their pants and take off.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be a perfect weapon.
It would be.
There's nothing to indicate it.
No.
I don't know if Ontario is a hotbed of bio-weapon tech. I don't think so. I don't fucking know.
Dude, and also, man, conversely, speaking of that, dude, with the weird wispy thing here, a little bit of hint of possibly the Glimmerman, the old Glimmerman.
Oh my
the
gosh.
old military tech, the old Predator tech.
Right. Semi-camouflage that allows
think about
you
that.
to...
Going through the spectrum, dude, having the Predator look to you.
All right, so if that dude was like... I mean, it's weird that he's 7
foot
tall.
Are we dealing with military technology now?
No, we can go down this rabbit hole a little bit.
It could be.
Who knows?
Yeah.
If there is Glimmerman / Predator camo tech out there, and it is being used by human beings that are in the know, I mean, it almost seems more like maybe it's one of the lost sailors from the Philadelphia experiment where they're having and the wispy parts you can't see are still embedded in the hull somewhere.
Bummer.
But like in the bottom of Groom Lake or wherever they keep, whatever parts of the USS whatever. I know that's been like 98% debunked.
Yeah.
I still love the idea. I know it comes down to one dude and his annotated fucking book.
Just left into weird time space. Just floating.
But this idea, like someone's like stuck between realms and the misty parts aren't gone. They're just somewhere else.
Weird.
And he just forms in for a second, then forms back.
Yeah.
And he's not floating. He's walking on ground, but where he's walking, the ground is higher than where the ground is there.
No.
So he's not like, because why go through the motion of walking if you can float?
Yeah.
Because you are walking.
Exactly.
And then in his world, he's looking around like, why is my sweet buff torso all smoky and fucking weird?
Yeah, no, I feel you, dude. I feel you. So with the last case here with the electro hopper, what's kind of got me about this one, which is kind of interesting, is that like they're in the field and all of a sudden they're like, what the fuck's Naked Guy?
What the fuck is this?
What the fuck is Naked Guy doing?
Yeah.
So this wasn't trying to avoid them, as the story indicates. It was coming at them at a hopping
in
rate.
a hopping weird way.
The witnesses described it as
Jonah was
weird.
not happy about this.
Dude, everybody's probably like, what in the fuck is like, I mean, they obviously don't say that, but they're like, what clearly. In the hell? They wouldn't say that either. They're like, what's going on?
Yes, there you go.
Happening?
Translating Amish with Mark Stores.
Yes, they don't swear. They're very nice people. I actually had an Amish dude come and give me a quote for my roof not that long ago before I got the metal roof, and I fucked up. I should have went with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, better craftsmanship. But
always go Amish.
That is besides the point. So, yeah, man, this thing, I think we, with this, mentioning it being, something from a different reality or whatever coming at you, trying to communicate, it's just so bizarre. Like the whole psychic shock thing is really weird.
The electroshock thing, it is
super odd.
Right up there. And I had another one. I could not find it for the life of me. It'll end up in another edition of this, where something was hanging in a tree. It also had a weird sonic weapon. Like there are cases where things can connect. Now, obviously, telepathic communication, you could throw a stone anywhere in ufology especially, and you're going to fucking find that.
Right.
But to physically affect somebody from a distance, that is much rarer. And the fact that it can just juice these people enough to hurt them, enough to throw them for a loop is astonishing. But that isn't half as astonishing to me as fucking possessing a dude, making him talk in a language he can't fucking comprehend, then talking back to him.
And then leaving.
That implies intelligence.
And then just taking off and not even caring.
Well, probably caring a lot. We don't know he doesn't care. He might be so frustrated. He might be like, what the fuck?
Communication breakdown. It was just a big misunderstanding. And then he's like, fuck this. And he just keeps going.
Right.
Bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he didn't do any permanent damage, either through the electroshock or the micro possession.
Trying to shoot the shit, couldn't do it, and was like, I'm out.
Maybe.
And then just ran away.
That's the thing. That's why we've thrown so much fucking, spaghetti at the wall to see what would stick. Because is it something nefarious? Is it something noble? Is it just a confused and lost creature? Or was he sent there for the purpose of communicating? Is it something like almost Terminator-esque where, you've got this like window, you're sent from another time or place and you need to fucking communicate an idea, not kill Sarah Connor, but fucking, you got to like meet these people, explain what's happening, that our worlds are going to collide in fucking, 48 of their years, and we have to work together as a team or we're fucked. And he does it, and they think they got the technology worked out, but it doesn't fucking work. Dude just keeps repeating what he says and not understanding a bit of it. And it doesn't matter if they're Amish or not. They're not going to know what the fuck is going on. And now he's just so, we're all fucked. We are all fucked. And he's hopping angry everywhere, looking around like, I'm stuck here for another 10 minutes. I can't talk to fucking anybody. This, it would cost $10 billion. It was a 17-year project. I finally did it. I was supposed to be a hero, and we're all fucked. We're electro fucked.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. That's all you're going to hear.
Or probably not.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
not.
the thing. This is a big whiteboard we can write anything on for our story. That's what makes this one so fascinating.
Oh, shit. Well, there you have it. Thank y'all so very much for joining us. The Cryptonaut podcast, the Ultra-Cryptid Strike Back. More weird ones. Thank y'all for joining us. We are on the social medias, Roberts. We got the Instas, we got the Twitters, we got the Facebook, so they're doing it. We're hanging out. Check out the Facebook fan group. Thank you to everyone over there holding that down. We appreciate that. HellerSpace.com. Get those t-shirts, get them stickers, get yourself some summer totes. It's time for summer. You're going to go record shopping. You can go book shopping. You can get yourself a tote.
I went to a big, huge used bookstore in Ithaca yesterday. It was phenomenal. I wish I had some crypto totes.
Dude, there you go. Crypto totes.
Right
you got to represent with that. The Patreon, patreon.com/Cryptonaut podcast. $1 is a shout out and one bonus audio. $5 is the shout out and no more than 4 bonus audios, sometimes 7. We'll see what happens. Both of those get you access to the Discord. We should check that out. Discord's dope. Got a great community happening over there. We got some events coming, all kinds of cool events coming up and shit. It's super cool.
Good people, so fun. And also, getting back to the Patreon episodes, I mean, we got a pretty sturdy backlog at this
we
point.
have a ton of. A lot of people sign on not realizing how many we have. We have like over 100.
Yeah.
So they jump on. They're like, oh shit.
So if you run
a lot
through
of backlog,
and now you're like, shit, I gotta wait every week like the rest of the fucking plebes.
Yep.
Well,
there you go.
dig deep, and you gotta dig deep. Drop it. 5 spot and boom.
There you go. You get access to the whole catalog. And as we mentioned in the beginning of this episode, we're going to be on vacation next week, but we're not going to leave you folks in the regular feed hanging. We're going to have a special Patreon release for you to give you a little taste, give you a little morsel of that Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
Just get a little
that sweet
little bit. It's
Patreon action.
That's how we get you hooked.
That's exactly it.
This is like Dare.
Yeah, we're on we're in a 1970s schoolyard. We give you that first taste for free. But guess what? Yeah, when you come back, you're gonna be like, it was worth it. It was worth it. Dirty Mark and scummy Rob.
Hey kids, you want some PCP?
Yeah, so I guess maybe comparing ourselves to schoolyard drug dealers in the 70s might not have been phenomenal.
We are, dude. If anyone was gonna sell PCP to third graders, it'd be us. 100%.
Yeah, you just want to feel like you got superpowers just once. You know?
That awful after school special.
Oh my God.
The
so
girl
bad.
jumping out the window.
Always. Everyone always tried to fly on PCP in the 70s. It was such a universal trope. And then, of course, Rudy Ray Moore came along and Disco Godfather. And when his fucking nephew got dosed and he did the slapdash dance and flew out a window or fucked up somehow, he kung fu'd his way right to the top of the PCP crime syndicate. And then he got dosed, and he went through some shit.
Dude, that's what you got to do. But so, yes, next week's very special Patreon release coming for you folks. And there you have it. We'll be talking to you soon.
Fucking A right. Yeah. Pity the electro hopper. He's still...
No
he's not even hopping anymore. He's moping. He's just moping around.
He's bummed.
Stuck here forever.
For sure.
Oh, my God. He could have just been friends with the Amish and learned to craft shit.
Yeah, maybe wear a pair of pants, dude. Just put on some pants.
Well, you don't judge him and his lifestyle choice.
Put your pants on.
They don't have pants there.
You don't know that. They probably have pants.
Why would they have pants?
If they got you to tell you they probably have pants.
First off, what kind of pants are not going to restrict your hopping ability? I mean, a cod piece maybe. Hide your shame.
Anything, All right, whatever. Maybe some yoga pants. There you go.
You want to see it. That's all. That's about you, Mark Stores. That is not about the fucking electro hopper. That's about you.
There it is. She'll be talking to you.
See ya.